Hey, it's Nancy from Nancy Chu Homes. I'm a realtor here in northern New Jersey, and in my 18 years in the business, I have been party to over $500 million in transaction. Today, I wanted to spend a little bit of time and talk to you about the decline of starter homes, which I think is directly tied to the affordability challenges that we have right now for housing in our country. The reason why this sort of came to light is because in the fall of last year, 2024, we started to see a pretty significant slowdown on builders filing new housing permits and new housing starts. This basically means that builders are starting to maybe pull back on building, which is a huge problem because that's only just going to exacerbate our affordability issues, right? I would tell you money's gotten very expensive. With potential new tariffs happening, materials are going to be expensive. Labor is expensive right now. And it's possible that they're just, really feeling the pinch and feeling like they can't make any money. Now, the starter home is the particular focus of this conversation. Let's define what that is. A starter home is going to be anything, whether it's a single family, modular, townhouse, condo, anything that's smaller than 1,400 square feet. That makes sense, right? Well, let's put it this way. We are seeing less and less starter home being built in this country. And what starter home does that we do have, a lot of them are, falling in disrepair. They're kind of towards the end of their useful life. And many of them are being renovated into bigger homes. And let's talk a little bit about why. So first, a little background. In the 1980s, a good 40% of our home development was under 1,400 square feet. So you were seeing a significant amount of starter home being built. Unfortunately, as of 2023, we're looking at less than 10% is of that size bracket. So this tells you, that we're going to lose in terms of being able to build more, especially as we lose the ones that we also have that are existing. This coupled with the fact that we've seen rising house prices, especially if you are 1 to 2 hours from a major metro city. And here in northern New Jersey, we are 1 to 2 hours from both Jersey City, Hoboken, and New York City. Oh, as a matter of fact, and Philly as well. So we are the suburb with 3 major metros putting pressure on us. Now, what is making this market so weird? Let's go back and talk about that. We're seeing a low number of first-time home buyers right now. We're thinking that they're very discouraged because the first-time home buyer is often someone who goes after the same property as someone like a downsizer, right? And downsizers, they target the same properties, smaller homes, less maintenance, etc. And, a lot of the downsizers are cash heavy because they're selling their bigger home. They've taken the equity out of that and they're like, woohoo, let's go buy something. So they are oftentimes outbidding the first-time home buyer for the same properties, right? This will give you an idea, and it's very, very crazy. We're at record high for the average age of the home buyer here in America. The average age for the home buyer here in America right now is 56 years old. That is not the median, but that is the average age. And that's significant. That tells you that we have a significant number of downsizers and they're in direct competition with these first-time home buyer homes. In addition to that, we are also seeing the highest number of house values at $1 million and more in this country. Houses have never been so expensive, right? So why are we seeing a reduction in the building of, starter homes or downsizer homes or things that are under 1,400 square feet? Okay, there's lots of different reasons. And the first and foremost being zoning. Zoning is set at the local level. And they dictate certain things like how big the lot size should be, what the setbacks are away from the property, the height restrictions of what can be built there, the number of units that can be built on a lot. Local residents will often challenge new construction because they're worried about overtaxing the system that they're in, right? So for instance, they'll say things like, hey, listen, we're worried about school overcrowding if you build too many units. We're worried about wear and tear on infrastructure, like the roads, the septic system, the electrical grid. And so they are, however, okay often with single family home structures being built as opposed to multifamily home structures being built. because they think that it reduces all of those challenges that they're concerned about, right? This, of course, tends to weight towards single family homes. And this means that builders might often be forced to build the biggest home that they possibly can on the lot that's available, right? Because, I mean, and this is why you've probably seen this with new construction. You're like, hey, this is a really big house and there's not a lot of yard, and they're trying to maximize the square footage because otherwise they cannot make money. Given the high cost of land, materials, and labor, it's the only way they can make money. Now, you're probably thinking, ugh, builders, always looking to make money. But the truth is, according to the National Association of Home Builders, 63% of US home builders are actually considered small businesses who make less than $1 million in revenue in any given year. And so, to be honest, they're just a small mom and pop. 63% of them are small mom and pops, and they really can't afford to build small. They have to maximize the house or else they won't make any money, all right? And so that's kind of the result that you're seeing. The other thing that's sort of terrifying is that regulatory fees are upwards right now of about 25% of what it costs a home builder to build a home. So 25% of the money that it costs them right now is just going straight out the door. It's regulations. And while I am all for safety in building, a lot of the regulations that have, sort of defined, modern American home building are based off of things that were reacted to from the turn of the century, right? Don't forget, at the turn of the century, post-industrial revolution, we were building ridiculously without a ton of oversight. And you were seeing things like overcrowding, you were seeing things like buildings being unsafe and collapsing in fires. Well, the truth is, a lot of our home building needs now are, we have no choice. We have to start looking at how to change the way that we regulate home building, because otherwise we simply will not have enough to handle the population base that we have. And please remember that modern home building techniques are so much better than they were at the turn of the century that a lot of these regulations may not necessarily be needed anymore. All right, how do we fix this problem? Well, incentivize home builders to do, properties at a, smaller size, changing some of the zoning and relaxing some of the regulatory limits, more ADUs, more adaptive reuse. How can we turn empty office buildings or empty malls into more housing? This is a problem that isn't going to fix itself unless we have some smart people doing some intervention and really raising awareness for everybody. All right, so that's that. That's really what I wanted to talk about with you guys today. And if you find that our videos are helpful to you, please do like, comment, subscribe, follow, all those good things so that you can help us spread our message to others who might need it. All right, I look forward to speaking to you guys next week.